Hello, welcome to RT Machinery. I'm Richard Taylor, Managing Director of RT Machinery, and this is one of my favourite machines. This is the Scag Turf Tiger II. I've been associated with Scag and with the Turf Tiger model for over 30 years, shamefully, but can honestly say it's one of the toughest and one of the best pieces of kit that we've sold over those years and that I've been able to put my name to. We have these machines working with private contractor, large contractor, school, parish council, local authority. It fits in across the board as being a machine that's very productive, reasonably priced, but tough as old boots really, and simple and straightforward to repair. This is the premium model, the Tiger II. It's fitted with a 25 horsepower Kubota 3-cylinder diesel engine, Tier 5 compliant, fully driven through from the back of the engine with a belt system driving to 2 hydraulic pumps that drive to 2 hydraulic wheel motors. Hydraulics warranted for 24 months, and then we're driving from the bottom pulley through to the deck with a PTO shaft, which allows the deck to flex and move. The PTO shaft slides in and out, so we can run that deck at any position in its height range or its transport range, and then we loop through and link together the 3 blade spindles with a single belt around all 3. The belt gives a bit of forgiveness, and it's a simple, low-cost component to change through wear and tear in the long run. The blade system on the Scag mowers is pretty special and very simple. Most of machines that are built in the marketplace today by competitors and other manufacturers use aluminium housings and a simple bolt and washer to hold the blade on at the bottom. It's okay, but the bearings are standard roller bearings, tend to run for the life of the bearing. With this, we've got taper roller bearings, top and bottom, seals. It's grease filled. We've got a pressure point here where we grease fill. Those bearings are adjustable. It's long life, it's rechargeable with grease. And then we come up through the blade, which is a heavy duty Marbane steel blade, sharpened edge all the way along this part of the blade, long life, easy to sharpen. But we use a bolt that goes right the way up through the blade, up through the spindle, to allow us to have a nut on the top. That means that when this bolt head gets worn, runs in the dirt and in the grass, we're not struggling to try and get purchase or a spanner on there to remove the blade. We can come to the top. We're accessible through the top of the deck in 3 points. Cover here, cover here, cover here, wing nut and a pinch bolt, and they come off. We can get to the spindles to grease, but we can also get to the spindles to crack this nut and release all in one. So a simple way, but also a breakaway really. That bolt is the weak point. So if we get any blade damage, we're either going to break the blade, shatter the blade, or bend the bolt. Typically with this, the bolt is the forgiving point, so we'll bend that bolt and it's simply replaceable. Deck is adjustable and has 2 positions on the anti-scalp at the front. We've got the V section on all the Scag decks at the front here. That's a leading edge allowing air movement in this front 50mm to allow the grass to stand. After the deck's pushed it, we get air movement to stand the grass before the blade then comes to it to cut it. So that's the V deck giving us that uplift point and the air movement. Deck itself, as I say, adjustable and controllable, easy to get to through these guards to get to the grease points. Suspended in 4 positions, and these 4 positions are adjustable on these cam points. So the deck's hanging and working on its 4 suspension points. In its life it's going to get a knock and a bump or 2. As and if it becomes out of square, we can adjust these little bolts on the cams of these adjustment points to square the deck and get it level. Just what the technician or what the operator needs 3 or 4 years down the line to be able to adjust and set up. Grease points wherever we pivot on the deck mechanism to allow us to keep that lubricated and moving well. Same on the front wheels, puncher free front casters, strap points here for your straps when it's on the trailer, pressure filled grease on the main pivot point here. Coming back around the unit, steel, mudguards. You can see just looking at the Scag, the size and the thickness of the steel components in its build. The parent company of Scag is a company called Metalcraft, and that shows and is reflected in the build of the Scag equipment. There's nothing compromised on build. It's built for life. It's built to stand you in good stead in a contracting and a commercial environment. This deck is a 61-inch rear discharge. We can offer 52, 61 or 72 in side or rear discharge. With side discharge we have a mulching system or a collection system. With rear discharge we're coming straight out the back but spreading the width of the cut, allowing us to work alongside verges and pathways. ROPS frame, it's a folding ROPS, so if we need to get the ROPS down to get into the vehicle, to get it into a building or to work underneath certain areas, we can drop the ROPS on a spring-loaded pin to fold back. LED amber beacon. Seat is mounted on 4 rubber ISO mountings to give seat suspension through the chassis of the machine back up to the seat, and then the seat itself is a commercial, fully adjustable comfort seat, forward and backward movement, folding armrests, and then the obligatory lap belt once we're in the seat with the ROPS, lap belt on. Back end of the machine, we talked about the engine, 25 horsepower Kubota 3-cylinder, easy to get to. Even with the bonnet down we can get to the dipstick, we can get to the oil filter, we can see the radiator. Radiator has a screen to allow us to clean the material or stop the material ingressing into the radiator. That's accessible down through at the back of the seat and over the top. You can just see me sliding that there. That lifts out to allow us to clean it. Operator's manual we can carry in there, or your McDonald's wrap, whatever you might want to put in there. That's quite capable. Coolant level, visual, no need to go into the machine to get to it. Low, full, and its operating level. See here our hydraulic pump. We've got 2 of these, one either side, and they're powering individually to each wheel motor. Again, very accessible, as is the fuel filter at the back here. Bumper kit, this is a UK built bumper kit that's available. Gives that little bit of protection at the back end, just allows you to back it up in the vehicle or back them up one against the other. And then a clip mechanism here to get to the rear clutch. It's an Agora clutch, electromagnetic, driving those belts down to the 2 pumps and to the PTO pulley at the bottom that then drives the PTO shaft forward to the machine. This side we've got our battery. Easy access again, 2 little thumb screws here, and the top cover comes off to give access to the battery. Cyclonic air filter, that's 2-stage, filtering as it comes in through the top and then filtering in the actual filter itself. It's a paper element within that housing. Twist the cap, comes off and we can get to the paper element. Hydraulic oil reservoir here. One of the key features with the Scags, we run the same hydraulic oil as we run engine oil, so it's the same oil throughout the system. 1540, not going to worry about carrying various pots of oil with you or anything else in the workshop. We can top up with the same oil all round. Fuel tank, large filler cap here, obviously diesel fuel. There is a petrol version of this machine as well, which we can talk to you about. Easy to get to, easy to fill. Fuel gauge just down and alongside you. Tank holds 45 litres, so you've got a good running day there with the tank. And then control levers, tucked out as they are at the moment, allowing me to have a step point up and onto the machine. If I was to sit in the seat, we'd be releasing the seat belt, and then in the seat, for comfort, I really should be adjusting to get some purchase on my knees with my heels and my feet up on that foot plate at the front. Just want a little bit of purchase in my knees so that I've got rigidity over the ground and able to hold myself firmly in the seat. Obviously the lap belt is going to be doing the rest of it. Parking brake and brake mechanism. Pull push and latch, push and release. They're very straightforward. Brake on. Control levers, fully adjustable to suit comfort, and they just swing in to allow me to have my forward or my reverse operation. Back out to be able to leave the seat. Must be in this position to start. Handbrake must be on to start. This side of me, I've got my ignition, I've got my throttle, and I've got my Tiger Eye. Tiger Eye is a real-time system and gauge here that's telling me park brake, neutral, in the seat, safety switch, and PTO. So as long as all my lights are on, PTO's off, handbrake's on, levers are out. Cutting mechanism, we've talked about the setup and the structure of the deck. The lift, lower and height control is all across this side. As I sit in the seat, I can see my cutting height ranges, and I've got a pin mechanism. I can select my cutting height, which is going to be typically between 1.5 and 6 inches. Select where I want to be, drop the pin in, pressure on my toe, release, and that drops straight back down to height of cut. To go back to transport or to give me some relief, I can just press and lift on the deck. If there's a manhole cover or something that I want to come up and away from, I'll change my height of cut. Let's pull, move, and come back to that height of cut point. This is adjustable. We've got a series of holes here so we can move that for operator. A nice little square here. That's to allow us to get a Tommy bar in if we need to get leverage whilst it's in the workshop and whilst we're off the seat. That applies actually to the tension arm on the belt mechanism as well. We can get in there with a Tommy bar to pull the tension on when we're adjusting or changing the belt. So cutting height, we've talked about that, the range, principle, start, stop, so engagement of the blade. Run through that again. Handbrake does its job. We haven't got that on. We can't start it. We've left it on. The engine. That blade movement, there's as much air noise as there is engine noise there. We're moving a lot of air with material to get in. Secret of grass cutting is getting it in the front and out the back smoothly without building up too much material, and that works very well with the Scag with that air movement. The zero turn capability of the machine really is just about the wheels being able to work in forward and reverse in unison. It's a bit of a knack, it takes a bit of time, but if we can get one wheel going backwards whilst the other one that's the Scag Turf Tiger II. Very powerful, very productive, and very affordable. We've got various ways that we can help you afford a Scag, and here at RT Machinery, lots of experience to keep you going over the years with our parts support, our service support, and our backup. Thanks for your time.